If you have mold in your house, would you just paint over the mold and then call it a fucking day? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that. So why would you do that with your mind? Why would you do that with your life? Why the fuck would you do that? We're going to be talking about how our self-image is governing our entire life. I'll start with, if you have mold on a wall in your house, would you cover it with paint and just leave it? Probably not. Probably not. So why would you do that with your mind? Why would you do that with your reality? Why would you try to cover up things knowing that there's underlying unhealed trauma behind what you cover up? You can change all you want on the outside, but if you don't change the image of yourself, you will always go back to where you were. That's why people with body dysmorphia, they, to the outside world, their reflective reality is great, but their mind is fucked because they still have a self-image, usually from childhood, because they don't understand how their subconscious mind is playing a huge role on their entire existence. Your self-image is a collection of beliefs that you have from childhood. If your parents have not healed their trauma from their childhood, usually that trickles down and they just pass that trauma on to us subconsciously, because even for them, their paradigm is subconscious. Unless they understand how their subconscious mind works, they'll always be a victim of the external environment. You were born to a blank slate. Wherever your parents were, whatever frequency they were radiating at whenever they had you, whenever you were born into this world, is what frequency your blueprint is going to give you. So your blueprint is an outline of DNA and genetic code passed on from your parents. It can be physical and non-physical. The way that you look, that kind of DNA, that kind of information passed on to us from our parents, those are the things that you can see. Now you also have codes inside of you that are emotionally programmed into your brain. So your environment plays a huge part in your subconscious mind. From an early childhood, you are being programmed. From the ages of 0 to 7, you are straight subconscious activity. So anything that you are consuming will be you. There's a quote that goes along the lines of, give me a boy for the first 7 years and I'll show you the man that he will be. Because from the ages of 0 to 7, you are just being programmed. If your parents are radiating at a frequency, you don't have the conscious ability to be able to think your way out of certain situations. For the most part, we are not thinking, just are in a subconscious loop, and that's what you need to understand about your self-image. Unless you understand that your self-image is a collection of subconscious beliefs within your mind, you can't change the paradigm. You can change all the things on the outside world, but you'll never really change the self-image. Knowing that your parents programmed you as a child for better or for worse, because for the most part, they don't know that they're doing it, because almost everybody doesn't know how their mind works. So if you don't know how your mind works, then you think that there's something outside of you that's going to save you, when in reality it's you. It's always been you. You got the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is a collection of beliefs that form your self-image. A paradigm is where you are right now. It's the beliefs that you have right now built into your subconscious mind. Your current reality is a reflection of the thoughts and ideas that you hold in your subconscious mind. Think of your current reality as a reflection, what you see in the mirror. And if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, would you try to change the mirror? No. So why would you do that with reality? It goes back to mold. Like, why would you try to cover up the mold instead of getting rid of the mold and adding something new under it? And that's the whole purpose of your subconscious mind. It's always working for you. In order for you to change the reflection, change the reality, you have to change the programming, because The internal things that you feel will ultimately reflect itself into the external world, and that's where your current reality is. So what you see on the outside is a pure manifestation of how you feel on the inside. You are in this subconscious loop of programs. That's kind of where I feel like people need the most guidance, is understanding where they fall in relation to this reality. We come from source energy. We are able to have anything that we want depending on the frequency that we're radiating at. There is no good or bad. We just experience duality because we are in this 3D plane. But if you kind of look at it like this, so you've got one spectrum, and I'm just going to use wealth and poorness as a part of our spectrum. So we got rich and we got poor. It's the same spectrum. It's just which one you want to align to. And for the most part, most people are aligning to lower frequencies that are telling them that they are not worthy of abundance. They are not worthy of prosperity. So they fall a victim to the external programming of being poor. And you stay in that loop, and you'll keep going towards that frequency of poorness because you don't understand that you can change the self-image, that you can switch your frequency to more abundance, because it's the same spectrum. It's just what you're focusing on. We focus so much on the program that is set in our brain already, and until you use your neocortex, until you use your thinking mind to kind of dig through information and sort it the way that you want, we're always going to be programmed. It's kind of more so, do you want to program yourself, or do you want somebody else to program you? So this is basically just learning how to program yourself to the desired reality that you want. It's all about what frequency you're radiating at. So whatever frequency your parents were radiating at when they had you is usually what blueprint you will fall under. Genes are signaled by environment. So if you decide that you want to live a healthy life, you can live a healthy life. You can activate those genes by your environment, by the things that you are exposed to, by the thoughts that you think. So knowing that we can change the programming by the thoughts that we think, that's wherever awareness really does come into key. What are you thinking? What are you letting into your brain? What are you consuming? We're consuming all the time. We don't dig through what we're consuming. We kind of just let everything be subconscious without really thinking. Thinking is a skill. If you don't learn how to think, you're programmed by your external environment. We are energetic beings descended down into the physical plane. We are energy, frequency, and vibration. Whatever you program your mind with, you will start to see in the outside world. You have to give it to yourself first, and that is the power of prayer. Giving things to yourself, and then once you go into this 3D plane, you're just open to receive. We're just receiving because we know that we gave it to ourselves. You have to water your roots. Whenever you're looking at a plant, you see the external manifestation of a big ass fucking tree, but you don't see the work that was put in the roots. There's lots of freaking turmoil. There's lots of hurt. There's lots of pain. There's lots of growth. There's lots of momentum that goes on within the roots that you'll never see. But you see the beautiful manifestation of the tree. And a tree is just trying to be a tree at the end of the day. It's not trying to be anything else. That kind of explains a little bit how the ego works. So the ego is a collection of memories that we set for ourselves. So whenever you wake up in the morning, you remember who you were from the day before. That's your ego. We all have ego. And if you understand that we all have an ego, and you can mold your life into any form that you want to, but with the power of your mind, it really does start in your mind, and that's where the self-image comes into play. Everything is radiating from within you. You are abundant. You were born worthy. You can have anything that you want. It's all a part of the quantum realm, and it's up to you to align to whatever frequency you wish by the thoughts that you think. Start reading things to enrich your mind and enrich your soul. Stop consuming information that isn't beneficial for the overall growth of yourself and your well-being, because you'll just find yourself in these lower frequencies, and then you'll keep attracting the lower frequencies. But once you start feeding your mind with higher vibrational thoughts, the universe starts to respond likely. And that is what the law of attraction is. The law of attraction is it just is. Like you don't have to do anything for the law of attraction to be a thing. The law of attraction isn't a conscious act that you're doing. It's just happening. It's just law. Like these laws are just law. With or without your awareness, they're just law. So like attracts like. Whatever you are radiating at, you'll see the universe will deliver to you. If you give yourself abundance, you tell yourself that you are worthy, the universe will respond likely. The subconscious mind is always working for you. It's not working against you. It's working for the program that you have, though. So if you don't program your mind yourself, then you will be somebody else's program. But your life can be designed exactly how you want to design your life. You got to understand and you got to know what you want, though. A lot of the times we go aimlessly through this world, not knowing what we want, just hoping that something out here is going to come give us a good idea, that we're going to run into some freaking money, but we haven't given it to ourselves. We haven't given ourselves the love and the worth that we were born with. You are what is happening out here. Everything is a reflection of you. What you see in people is a reflection of you. What you don't like in people is a reflection of you. What you love in people is a reflection of you. Everything is you. And it goes back to your self-image. How you perceive the world is how you see yourself. So once you start showing up for yourself a little bit more, once you start uplifting yourself a little bit more, everything will start to change. So stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on.